What's up, everyone? It's your girl Jay, and welcome to part one of a two-part special of the Daily Dose podcast I recorded along with YouTuber Michael Smith Grant, formerly known as Mr. PopoTV. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy some K-pop. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Loser, 외톨이, 센 척하는 겁쟁이, 못된 양아치, 거울 속에 넌 just a loser, 외톨이, 상처뿐인 머저리, 더러운 쓰레기, 거울 속에 넌.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl Jay, and welcome back to the Daily Dose podcast, a podcast where I talk about the hottest topics in K-pop. So today is a really special episode because I have a special guest with me. So introducing Mr. PopoTV, also known as Michael Smith Grant. Yay! Thank you for coming.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me. Greetings and salutations, everybody.
He did the thing.
Yeah.
So for those who have been living under a rock, could you just give a little bit of insight into what you do and how you're related to the K-pop fandom?
Okay, so as you already introduced me, I'm Miss PopoTV from YouTube. I have since, I guess you could say, stopped using that name more in public. Just went with my real name, Michael Smith Grant. Because, I guess you could say when I was just a little K-pop tadpole, on the YouTube community back in 2013, I was doing, K-pop reaction videos. And, that's pretty much where, Miss PopoTV, I guess you could say, really jump-started, from K-pop reaction videos, then morphed into, just taking it bigger and broader, involving, my family members, involving random strangers on the streets. And even the K-pop reactions that even took me all the way to going to Korea. That was a really big thing for me in 2014. And then now it's just, I guess you could say, branding it into an actual business, within Korea, dealing with concerts, more with artists, on the media aspect as well. And, just having fun with parodies and all other aspects of the South Korean entertainment field.
Okay, so you mentioned your channel, so I think that would be a nice place to start. So you found K-pop, but what made you want to make a channel surrounding it, and what made you want to start doing reaction vids?
Okay, so originally my first experience with K-pop was with Kara, which is my ultimate bias, my favorite girl group. Yeah. Even I'm sad that they disbanded, but everything started with Kara, and I even though I did see them in 2007, I wasn't fully invested into them. Wow. I'm also a pianist, a piano player, a concert piano player. So when I was in college in CCNY here in New York City, there was this time where someone asked me to do a piano cover, and that piano cover was for Girls' Generation's G. Oh. And so that was the first time I really watched the entire music video for G, and G really I was like, this is really cool. And then, of course, after that, Kara's Mister happened, and that drew me into K-pop completely. But I would find myself doing my first video ever for anything K-pop related was actually with K-dramas. And that was on my old gaming channel. And I was doing K-drama reviews, and at that time, I believe the drama that was out was the King to I believe that's what it was called. No, or the King in Two Hearts, something like that. But I know it was pretty much that drama, and I started doing that, and then I saw Jerry from Jerry KML do a reaction video for Kara's Pandora. And pretty much I decided, hey, you know what? I want to stop doing gaming because the scene was getting really boring in 2012, and I was done with professional gaming. So I said, you know what? Girls' Generation is making their comeback. Everybody else seems to be really hyped. And I really didn't know much outside of Kara and Girls' Generation. So I did a reaction video on New Year's Day for when I Got a Boy was released. And literally the rest is history. It's just snowballed into what it is today.
When was the point where you realized, holy crap, this channel that I guess did for fun, or this thing that I just jumped in with these reaction videos is starting to get big and there's a lot of people watching it? When did you realize that, and how did you feel?
I would say when I did the reaction video to Psy's Gentleman. Because this is like really, the Gangnam Style was really like hyping everybody. And like, for instance, I'll never forget Gangnam Style mainly because it came out on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh wow.
so I'll never forget, like, I'll never forget the song because like it came out on my birthday. And Gentleman like was the first, I guess you say, really big one because, from that reaction, it was like I was like, holy crap, 300,000 people watched the video. But at the time where YouTube was still like, they still had video responses, as a feature for YouTube before they took it away with everything being switched over. I attached a video called Black People React to the Guillaume song, Aewen, which I did with my brother. And I saw that went super viral. Like, I mean, and someone like translated the entire video and they put Korean subtitles and it had 2 million views. Oh, wow. And I was like, what? And I mean, it was just literally us reacting to the Guillaume thing. And my brother, like my younger brother, he was not having it. He was like, this is stupid. And yeah, and then I asked him to do the dance with me. He just got up and left. And he was like, nah, I'm not with that. But that's when I really, like, when things really picked up, because right after that is when Mnet approached me for the series hashtag my Kpop, for beforehand and whatnot, and I had to turn it down because I wasn't going to be able to make KCON that year. Oh. But that's pretty much when I know it's like, wait, this is getting really, really big.
Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, You're definitely one of the YouTubers I look up to, and I think one of the reasons that is because you always seem to have like a bigger plan going. Like, you had these reaction videos, but you were always coming up with these different ideas and talking about different segments and stuff like that. And I really liked the fact that, you weren't kind of limiting yourself to just doing reactions. You always were looking out for different ideas. So when SeoulWave came about, I was like, oh gosh, this is like genius. So how did planning SeoulWave come about? How did you get, the people working with you to work with you? Because I know you mentioned in one of your videos, you don't only have a team in America, you actually have people helping out in Korea. So how did all the planning come about with that?
Okay, so SeoulWave actually was not going to even be SeoulWave, to be honest.
Oh, really?
So the truth of the matter is, SeoulWave came about after a failed attempt with a concert gig. And because of the people who, all right, so this is, I guess you could say, the T side. A lot of these concert promoters in the U.S. are highly shady. And, and it's sad to the point that one of the concert promoters that I thought I could really trust, and we placed, I helped them up beforehand, and, we placed our trust in them. We were trying to bring SHINee here for a world tour in October. Unfortunately, Big Bang was going to also happen in October, so we switched our plans because, it just is bad business just to bring, SHINee here at the same time Big Bang is going to happen. But you see, we were still planning to bring them, say, all right, you know what, we'll hold off for a month, let's bring them in November. And the person who we thought we can trust said, hey, SHINee's like $50,000. Now, a lot of people really don't know how much a lot of these K-pop groups cost, but I can tell you this, that SHINee, like, their appearance fee per city is at least $170,000, what we found out afterwards. Wow. So, but we got a number like $200,000, right, per city. So we're trying to do 4 cities, so that's already $800,000, for investment and stuff like that. And so we literally was going to send our investors' money to this person we thought we can trust, and but we were given this number. I mean, they were a registered company. They were pretty much fake. Pretty much.
Oh, wow.
And we got the phone call that they were fake literally 15 minutes before we were about to send them the registered check.
Holy crap.
And so, yeah, that would have been like one of the biggest, it made everybody in my entire team feel sick to our stomach, to the point where we really just 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 went away from the entire scene during the entire summer. And, you know, that pretty much, like, it broke everybody's spirit, pretty much. And, like, I guess you can follow it. Like, if you follow my channel, like, you will see there was a point where I just really didn't do anything during the summer, like, for a couple of months, because that was going on behind the scene. And a lot of companies were just really, really shady, even after that point, because we tried to work with them afterwards. But some of the racism, you know, it was just too apparent and whatnot. And literally, I just, you know, my team was like all over the place. They didn't know what to do. And so I just decided on a whim to make a website, because I was going to make one originally just for my YouTube channel itself. And I decided to say, hey, you know what? You know, we've been through a lot, so let's just make this. So I literally, like, took 2 weeks to myself and learned coding and made the website for SeoulWave. I didn't have a name in the beginning, but I said, you know what? Since I want to focus on things in the K-pop, you know, media itself, I figured it would be a good starting ground, you know, starting off with K-pop media. And literally, SeoulWave came about within like a 5-hour span, and from there on I had to say, you know what, guys, let's just focus on this, and you know, maybe we can go with our other bigger goals as we go along with SeoulWave. And literally, it's just been a upward spiral because of, you know, just some of the people that I've met over the years from South Korea, including a lot of other YouTubers, like as you mentioned before, I do have a team in South Korea, and there's actually, one of them is actually a YouTuber. She's a beauty YouTuber, but when she was staying over here in the US, I was really good friends with her. We had mutual friends. The YouTuber, her name was J-Lips, but the person who's on my team, her name is Gui, and she has a YouTube channel called Face Studio by G, and she's been... And anyone who needs translations, I've always just recommended her. So, like, when Megan from the channel Chonam Mikusaram, you know, like, they collaborated a lot. And anybody, like, any of my friends who go from Korea to the U.S. needs a translator for, like, interviews, I just always recommended her. And so I just asked her, hey, do you want to work on this project with us or SeoulWave? And then, you know, it's just literally a step-by-step progression. And now... we're just making a bigger splash this year by getting, you know, nonstop interviews, and then, you know, you bringing that interview factor back between, you know, idols, because, you know, for lack of a better term, you know, all K-pop used to do stuff like this back in the day, but they've stopped. Korea Boo is, they've just they've gone, we'll leave it at that. Korea Boo, but yeah, I mean, SeoulWave, it has been fun. You know, we're really trying to bring back, especially the fact is that this company is owned by people who aren't Korean, but who are just trying to bridge the gap in the entertainment industry. So I mean, it's a small progress, but it's sad that it came about because of a lot of unfortunate circumstances. But you know, we've enjoyed everything we put into SeoulWave so far, and we're just looking to just keep on expanding, and then hopefully come back towards the concert areas. I mean, we are currently this year we finally found some good, faithful people to work with to bring K-pop concerts, because that's pretty much where a lot of stuff with SeoulWave lies. You know, we're trying to do a lot of things within the community, not just only from the media aspect, but also for the K-pop fans, you know, by bringing these groups over.
So you would say that, like, main, like, ultimate goal of SeoulWave is to get concerts globally?
Yeah, so with SeoulWave right now, I guess you can compare SeoulWave. It's a blend of Korea Boo and all K-pop. Now, what I mean by that is, what I mean by that is that Korea Boo has some good practices when it comes to their promotion for concerts. So not a lot of people know this, but Korea Boo is owned by CJ Entertainment as well. Korea Boo is also responsible for KCON. So, you know, and a lot of people don't know this, but Korea Boo is also, like, they're the ones who helped bring BTS here for their first tour as well. And they have a lot of pull when it comes to concert promotions, and that's one aspect that I like about Korea Boo. The co-CEO of Koreaboo is actually a nice guy. The other, I don't know. I mean, he's nice, but yeah, I don't know. Like
some of those articles.
Some of these articles, yeah. I mean, there's been a clear shift, so I don't know what's going on with the other co-CEO, but at least the one I know, he's cool because he also owns another company called Snack Fever, and
Snack Fever.
Yeah, and the co-CEO of Koreaboo is also great friends with the co-founders of Drama Fever. They all grew up and they've all traveled the world when they were in Spain. And it was just interesting just hearing his business prospects because he's pretty much distancing himself from Koreaboo to work on a lot of other things itself, mainly with the concert promotions. So that's what I mean by in the aspect like, using your media platform to do more. And, Koreaboo's been doing less and less of concerts because now everyone seems to be doing concerts nowadays. But the other platforms, there's also, the interviews, using your platform to bring more interviews for international fans, fan meets. We have a working relationship with YouTube and using their YouTube studio to have interviews as well and bring acts over. And another aspect that I like about Koreaboo, which they're starting to do a little bit more, is their music video production. They bought out a production company, and that's something, my first love is always film and videos. So I figured that's something else we could start doing for, it doesn't matter if they are Korean artists or if they're not Korean artists, similar to like Noisy, the US, the US media site that's owned by Vive Media, or I think it's Vice Media, producing music videos. Like Noisy did CL's music video, for instance. That's something that I would like to venture off in the future too. And what I mean by all K-pop, even though all K-pop, for instance, all K-pop is currently the top U.S. media for K-pop, and they've had. It's hard to describe their business practice because it's not that It's not that many people that run all K-pop itself. There's about 8 people for their staff itself, and most of their stuff is done in South Korea. But they have partnered with Naver, and they made the V app, which is, I'm pretty sure, has made them a whole lot of money. But I guess you can see everyone's moving towards this whole microblogging and this whole, I guess you say, video field. And, that's one area and aspect that I hope for SeoulWave to grow in the future, because I really want more original video content. And I guess that's what you could say. That's the main field that we're moving towards. Yes, we want to do concerts, but the original video content and, the creation of that is what we really want to focus on.
So let's go a bit back. You mentioned some YouTubers. So I actually wanted to know what YouTube channels, be it K-pop or not K-pop, do you look up to? And, when you see their videos, you think, okay, they're doing something pretty innovative over there.
Wow, it's been a while since I've, when I guess I can start when I started. One YouTuber, so the YouTuber that really got me into YouTube was Timothy De La Ghetto in the beginning.
Oh my god, I love him.
Yeah, he was hilarious. Him and Ricky Shucks, loved their videos. It was amazing. I just loved their videos. And then I guess you said another influential YouTuber would be Trey Melvin from This Is a Commentary.
Oh yeah, I like his videos.
And yeah, because his videos, I like, especially with his character Watermelon Drea. I even made a spoof of it. I made a Samsung character that was kind of homage to his Watermelon Drea, but I made a character called Catanella. And it was kind of funny because when I created the character Catanella, a lot of other YouTubers like Jerry from Jerry KML made Samantha a crazy Samsung fan. Patrick, who has the channel Woo Trick, made I forgot, Vanessa. And it's funny. The K-pop community follows a lot of different trends, and we all borrow a lot of ideas from each other. I collaborated with a lot of them, and I would say when my main inspiration comes from a lot of YouTubers that are outside of the K-pop spectrum. Even when I started with the reactions, I always, when Dre was doing the reactions, in the very, very beginning, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so, eventually, of course, we met each other and we're really great friends and we've really grown close through it. And I mean, to the point where, when I would go to Miami, like I'll talk to his father a lot because me and Dre's father have a lot of the same medical conditions, so he was just another source to talk to about a lot of other things, especially with Dre's path in life, and what he wants to accomplish and stuff like that. So he's a really close friend of mine's now. But yeah, I mean, like I would say those Timothy D'Angelo, Trey Melvin were like the main two that said, hey, like that I looked up to in terms of like YouTubing.
So I actually wanted to talk about, you mentioned that the K-pop fandom online kind of follows trends. So I just wanted to get into the statement you made on Facebook. I think it was a couple days ago, where you basically said that you were completely done with reaction videos, essentially. Mm-hmm. And what really stood out to me is that you kind of said it didn't really have to do with the whole fair use issue that's kind of going on with reaction videos as a whole on YouTube. You just are kind of not into it as much. So what kind of sparked that? Like, when did you realize, reaction videos aren't really working for me anymore?
So, being completely honest, I burned myself out a lot with YouTube, and this is it. It's kind of sad because, you put a lot of work into the videos, and then, with reaction videos, there will be days literally I would be waiting until like 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. depending on daylight savings or in the morning to just wake up to do a video. And if you're a young channel, the whole thing of like you have to be the first one to put your thoughts out there and stuff like that.
I kind of like my channel. That's not what my original channel was, but I saw it was like kind of a trendy thing to do among K-pop YouTubers. So I wanted to get into it. But the fact, like, I mean, like you and like Dre especially, the speed at which you guys put out videos, I was like, I cannot keep up. So I kind of just faded out of it.
Yeah, because being the first one to get it out means you're the first one on YouTube, and of course, the viewers in the beginning, you reach a whole new viewing spectrum. Pretty much because the music video, like a lot of people search for reaction videos a lot now. Well, I mean, it's way less. Like the reaction video boom was 2013, 2014, pretty much. And towards 2014, it was my second time just before going to Korea, and I was thinking about trying to do a company. And just wasn't like my heart. I think I knew my heart was gone with reaction videos in 2014, and I tried to change, but I gave into I guess you could say the temptation to do reaction videos again, and I tried to continue it to 2015. And 2015 was just I had all these medical problems, all these medical issues. I was in and out with doing YouTube videos, and I really hated YouTube. Like I really did not want to do it. Like the same reason why I quit professional gaming was coming back pretty much. I just got bored with K-pop as a whole. I really the whole thing that happened with the concert left a really bad taste in my mouth. And it's just like, it was to the point fact that I just didn't want to do anything K-pop related. And then, I mean, in that status I wrote, Kara disbanding really didn't have anything to do with me not doing reaction videos anymore. I feel like there was nothing more challenging. There was a lot of things I accomplished, in K-pop, but, this whole YouTube ride with K-pop was never like my main goal to begin with, that's why I was looking at it. I said, I want to challenge myself, and I feel like, reaction videos, they're just it's like more of a job. Felt like it was a job instead of I'm no longer enjoying doing them anymore. That's what it became like, beforehand. Then of course the repetitiveness, if you're doing reaction videos for like literally 4 years and it's the same thing, it's literally cut, paste, and just export, upload. And that's what it was becoming, literally like a job, one reaction video after the other. And so I decided, I said, you know what? I tried to leave reaction videos in 2014. I tried to do it in 2015. And, with everything that's going on right now, I said, you know what? I just need something else to do. And so that's why I said, you know what? I know a lot of people love the Black people react to K-pop videos. I know they love the strangers react to K-pop videos. But to be honest, my brother is also fallen out of love with reaction videos. He doesn't want to do them anymore, and I just need to move on, And eventually, other YouTubers will move on because the reaction, I mean, if you're talking about the copyright issues, they aren't safe at all. I almost had my channel terminated by CJ over a lot of pettiness because I wouldn't join their network. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, the pettiness when you reject somebody saying, if I told, I wouldn't join CJ Entertainment, so they say, well, there goes your channel, and I took them to court. I mean, they settled out of it, but the whole fact that it never even needed to go to that route. So yeah, it's just, I look for something new, and I'm gaming is picking back up again, but with what I'm doing with SeoulWave and what I have planned for SeoulWave with a lot of originals, I just felt like it really was time to move on from doing reaction videos.
So when you decided, because you said it was a situation where you just fell out of love with them, but seeing as your channel and kind of your fan base was built on you doing these reaction videos, were you at all scared that might mean goodbye to some of your followers, or was it just too overwhelming that you were whatever happens?
I would say if it was my first time departing from a community where I have a lot of followers, that I would be scared. I would have been terrified, but truthfully I wasn't anymore. I left the professional gaming community on a high, and I had a lot of followers. I mean, because put like this, I was traveling the U.S. and also Japan, going for these gaming events. I was placing a lot of these gaming events as well, and then I just literally disappeared from the scene, never to be heard of until 3 years later. And people was like, what is this guy doing? What is this guy who's been winning tournaments and placing really high doing now? Oh, he's doing K-pop videos. And a lot of people ask me, are you ever going to return to gaming? And I'm like, maybe. And now this year I'm fully returning to gaming itself. So, I do know, it was a worry because, I have, 70,000 subscribers, and I always make jokes. So I was like, hey guys, I feel like if I don't do reaction videos anymore, then probably all 70,000 of you might leave. But my whole thing is that I know I can bring so much more than a reaction video, and that's the main thing. Even when we have these reaction panels at KCON, I say I would rather us be called YouTubers because, that's what at the end of the day, we are a YouTuber. We are content creators. And, it's my decision is if I deleted all my reaction videos today, I know I can come up with so much more content and creative stuff tomorrow, pretty much. So it's I don't want reaction videos to be the main definition for what's going on in K-pop, but I do know that's where everything first started at. And a lot of my fans have seen a lot of the evolution, going from YouTube Reactor to making all these other things possible, especially for international fans. So, I mean, it was scary at first, but it's sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what makes you happy. And right now, doing K-pop reactions no longer makes me happy. So it's I guess you just have to roll with the punches.
So it's actually funny that you mentioned that you felt that the big boom of K-pop reactions have passed, because I kind of felt that myself, because there's always trends in the K-pop fandom. If the reaction trend is dying, what do you think is taking its place, or what do you think might take its place in terms of how, K-pop YouTubers express themselves and what kind of content they make?
Okay, so if I were to look at my content versus everybody else's content for YouTube, right? I say that if you put them into categories, you would say that Dre is the king of reactions, right? So, and his channel has gone to a point where he's trying to change reaction videos, but his fans he's grown way too big to just completely leave reaction videos alone. But if you look at his channel, you'll see that he's incorporating a lot more skits and a lot more of entertainment, something that, I've been doing for a while as well. And I do see that that's the major shift that I think is going to be going on. Now, it's going to be a big difference between, I guess you could say, in networking size, because whereas my channel, I'm starting to do a lot more stuff involving K-pop idols themselves. And if you look at some of the channels that are in South Korea, like Chona Miku Saram, she just had interviews in collaboration with Top Dog.
Yeah, I saw that.
You have BAP or Bap Mokja, who also had a couple of interviews and skits with K-pop idols. I think, more and more these K-pop companies are now realizing that YouTube is more of a platform that they can really expand with the right amount of, with the right skits, the right plans, working with the international K-pop community. I think you're going to see a lot more collaborations between artists and YouTubers. That's definitely going to happen. Even in the podcast that we're doing right now, I'm also a radio host with Aewen Radio, and then I also have like my own discussion segments and stuff like that. A lot of people really love discussions. Like when I started doing series like Real Talks that talk about more of the controversial things, I just feel that I guess it's time to talk about a lot of the other issues, the darker sides of K-pop. Yeah. Because trust me, I mean, a lot of things I can say confidently without being sued, in the K-pop community and whatnot. But then there's a lot of things that I know, like personally, with a lot of my friends who are idols who have been going through like the worst times of their lives with some of these companies, like that need to be exposed. But it's like, you don't want to be the cause. You don't want to be the person that caused that riffle. So you have to, and it's sad because you have to look at these things and you have to let them play out itself. So, and I mean, the industry, even the entertainment industry is like that. So, I mean, I guess you can see the YouTubers are going to be becoming a lot more realer, because in the beginning, everyone was really playing it safe. No one knew what they were doing. No one knew what they were getting themselves into. But now as those, the fans, grow and they get older, they're always going to look to say, hey, how are you going to venture outside of your field? You can't really expect someone who starts off as a reaction YouTuber to just do reactions for like, say, 10 years straight, because it's not, there's no variance. So I'm looking for other YouTubers to pretty much step outside of their boundaries and challenge the norms pretty much.
That's funny because it kind of reminds me of a quote. There's this YouTuber named Daystorm, and he's not K-pop related or anything, but he he said this one thing, and it always stuck with me, that if you're going to be on YouTube, your goal shouldn't be just to be on YouTube. Like, you should be using it as a platform to get different things and work in different fields and basically accomplish different things you want, because it is a really good platform to just get your name out there and know people you exist. But if you get stuck in the whole, well, I'm a YouTuber, and don't really think outside that's when you kind of get stuck in kind of what you're talking about, like just being a reactioner for the rest of your life, or just doing that one thing. So yeah, that's definitely something I think as well. Well, thank you so much for the interview. So now we're going to get into more K-pop related topics. So if you're interested in that, make sure to head over and listen to part 2 of this special episode of Daily Dose, where me and Michael will be discussing Winner, Ihai, Red Velvet, and much more. See you there.